Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Girard Sports Live here at the Burlington tournament. This will be day one of the Burlington tournament. Super excited to get things started here. It's such a good atmosphere. I'm Drake Miller here, joined by Caleb Humble to take you guys through the action today. We've got a bit of an interesting doubleheader today, but we'll go ahead and roll into it. Pregame show today is brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust. Serving the area for over 30 years. Stop in soon to pick up your very own Girard Trojan Instant Issue Mascot Debit Card. Community National Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Girard Schools. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Learn more at mybankcnb.com. And as we look at, instead of the area matchups, the other tournament matchups, Caleb, these are brought to you by Diskins Auto and Towing. 120 East Forest Avenue in downtown Girard. Diskins offers 24-hour towing and can repair all makes and models. To learn more, contact Diskins Auto and Towing at 620-724-8100. Caleb, what do you got for us today?
Alrighty, it is tournament week, and for this tournament, we've got some great matchups going on. Our first game is the first seed Burlington, who is 8-1, going up against the 8 seed Ottawa, who is 4-5. You got the 4th seed Labette County, who is 6-3, going up against the 5th seed Independence, who is 5-3. You got us, number 2, the Girard, going up against 7-1, going up against the 7th seeds Sabbatha, 5-5. The 3rd seed Silver Lake, who is 8-2, going up against the 6th seed Payola, 5-4. And so those are all of our first round matchups for this tournament.
Super excited to get this underway as we get set for the starting lineups here, which are brought to you by the Jagged Edge. Trojans will start this game in style, but nowhere near the level of style you'll find at the Jagged Edge. Stylist Carla Sands will have you looking your best for your next big game. Make an appointment soon by calling 620-724-7500. As we look across it, Caleb, I'm assuming it'll be the same starters for Girard as we look down on the floor right now. Caleb, go ahead.
Alrighty, so like you were saying, it is the exact same starting 5 that we normally have, starting with number 1, Perrin Stevens, a junior who is 5'11". You've got number 4, a sophomore, 6'2", Jackson Smith. Number 5, a junior, 6'3", Harrison Burke. Number 12, a junior, 6'2", Ben Colin. And rounding out is number 35, a junior, 6 foot, Blake Brokaw.
And then on the other side, trying to get a glimpse of the numbers. Looks like for Sabbatha, number 0, 5'9" senior Cole Menold. Looks like alongside him will be number 12, the junior, standing about 6'2", Jack Frazee. Number 2, the senior, standing 5'9", Charlie Lukert. Number 4, the senior, 6'3", Reed Mitchell. And then trying to get a view of what appears to be their big man. We'll see if that looks like number 22, Micah Lang, the 6'2" junior. So rolling into it, keys to the game. Caleb, go ahead and give us a brief summary of what the Trojans need to do to bring down tonight's contest.
Just a quick thing is, it kind of seems like the thing we talk about every single game of just rebounding and getting good looks at the rim. Rebounding will be a big one in this with, I think Ottawa is honestly, or Sabbatha, excuse me, they're honestly a bigger team and they've got some size down low, and so that'll be a big thing to see if these Trojans can match up in size against them. But I do think something that will favor the Trojans tonight should be their speed and their agility.
Well, the opening tip-off is brought to you by Farmers Bank. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Opening tip-off, the 5-5 Sabetha taking on the 6-2 Girard Trojans. They swing it around to the big man Lang. Lang in the corner. Back and forth between him and Frazee. And that'll end up a traveling underneath.
That was a good job by Blake Brokob coming down and kind of helping out down low whenever his man got past Ben Colin there.
So now Perrin Stevens takes it down the floor. They swing it around to Brokob. Brokob back up top. Burke knifing his way down the left side. No good. Trying to lay it in, and the rebound goes into the hands of Menold. And there's the first bucket of the night. Micah Lang takes it to the hoop and grabs the first couple of points.
And after that, it looks like Sabetha is kind of doing a full court press, and that might be something to see throughout the game, see how aggressive they plan to play against these Trojans.
Another steal here, takeaway, and lays it in is Menold. So he grabs another pair of points there for Sabetha. Blue Jays with another steal.
Another turnover.
Trojans having a tough time on offense. Now the Blue Jays will set up theirs. A nice pass inside, makes its way to Frazee, and he gets his first bucket of the game, and that'll call for a timeout for Girard. Slow start offensively, but it's something we're not stranger to at all with these boys. We'll take a timeout here, which is brought to you by Southeast Kansas Player Health Alliance and Live Well Crawford County, reminding you to know your limits when gambling and know when the game is playing you. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-426-2537 for free assistance. But Caleb, like I said, nothing that the Trojans are a stranger to, slow starts.
No, and with this team, you just got to get them going, and then that's whenever the scoring will happen. And I think Coach Westcott honestly notices this, and one of the substitutions that just came in is looks like Briggs Buckingham and Briar Schultz both are coming into the game, and those were two big names last week that were able to help with the scoring column.
Buckingham, familiar to kick-starting a fire on this offense, as Stevens loses the ball. Goes up for that 50-50. Both him and what looks to be Charlie Lukert making an attempt. Had to play a little wide receiver D-back there.
And honestly, Drake, I think this offense just needs to slow down and get something going before they just keep causing these turnovers.
Another drive to the bucket, won't go. And Brokob gets the rebound. Now he'll try to go coast to coast. Fights through physicality, not a whistle. Another pickpocket here, and Stevens has it. Stevens tries to take it through the paint. Brokob gets the rebound and nothing. Westcott not happy with that and will immediately fire Newton to the scores table. Get ready to check him in. Lang goes up, rebound ends up in the hands of Lukert. Menold was looking for a man on his left. There was nobody home. Kind of slowed down the pacing of this high-speed Blue Jays offense. They swing it inside. Lang gets it.
I mean, so far the Blue Jays are just having great passes, and that's what's kind of killing the Trojans down low.
Buckingham feels no pressure taking it across. Brokob to Cullen. And they swing it around the perimeter. Buckingham in the corner. Can't connect. Rebound is into the hands of the Blue Jays. Back the other direction, and they drop it in for another 2. And Coach Westcott wants a full timeout this time. And he'll sub in Jackson Smith and Harrison Burke as the Trojans are down 10-0. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Farmers Bank is a proud supporter of Girard schools. For generations, Farmers Bank has worked with local leaders, businesses, and residents to help shape the future of Southeast Kansas. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. As partners in business and friends in life, Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank, with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust. Federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
Back to the action here. 10-0 is the score. As Sabatha has the lead almost halfway through the first. Burke, far side wing, swings it to Newton and now to Smith. Now underneath, Burke tries to get the bucket and he breaks the ice.
That's just what the Trojans needed, just that first bucket to get the others to fall in.
Newton gets a steal. And now Trojans back on offense, trying to cut this lead down. Work it, Smith can't get the bucket, and it's last touched out of bounds by Menold. Trojans retain possession. Burke gets the inbound, swings it. Buckingham to Smith on the inside. Newton gets the over the back call. Players who have checked in for the Blue Jays: Kyson Wertenberger, as well as number 42 out there, who is Holden Edelman, just received the ball, and 24, Ian Dieters. And another laid-in bucket there from Menold. As they keep the lead in the double digits, Buckingham now tries to carve his way through the left side, misses. Back the other way. Girard takes over after the missed bucket. And another takeaway. This time that was number 20, Wertenberger, the new sub. Burke tries to lay it in. It dances on the rim. Newton gets the rebound, and now he'll be headed to the line. That goes against the new face of 42, Edelman. And Newton does not capitalize on his first. Couple more substitutions as Frazee and Mitchell come back onto the floor. And Newton does not get one. 2:30 left in this first quarter. Shot from three, just off the rim. Brocob and company on the floor fighting for it. Who's got it?
Jump ball, and it should be for the Trojans.
Looked like Frazee had his arms behind his back trying to hold on to that ball. Brocob gets it into Newton. They'll swing it against the full court press. And this will be last touched by Newton, out of bounds.
I mean, Drake, I know I had said it earlier, but something that I honestly think that you'd like to see is just the Trojans just slowing down the offense. Just kind of seems like a lot of unnecessary turnovers so far in this early in this first quarter.
I think just getting a shot off here on some of these possessions is what's important. You want to give yourself a chance to score, and they just have not so far. 14-2. Swing it around the perimeter. A well-developed offense, and Smith takes advantage of the opening. Cuts it back to a 10-point game. See if that sparks a little initiative here. Menold over to Lang, now back to Menold. Outside the perimeter. Lang tries to dice his way through the paint. Menold for three, gets it.
So far, Sabbath has been implementing this full court press, just bringing pressure on these Trojan boys, and this isn't something that they're honestly too used to.
I guess they counted that one a two from Menold. As they go back the other direction, and a foul called, I believe, this time against Lang. No, that'll go against Frazee. Very few fouls here in the first quarter, though. You like to see that. But that also shows that there's room for aggression from this Trojans defense.
But with that, looks like number 1, Perrin Stevens, and number 15, Briar Schultz, both checking into the game.
Swing it, and another takeaway as Smith goes between his legs to Newton, and Newton draws another foul. This goes against number 20, I believe, and that will be Wertenberger. Third team foul with 3.4 seconds left in the quarter. Brocob, Stevens for three, and no dice. So the first quarter will end up 4-16. With that being the score, we'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust, federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
From the phone call to the service call, Roto-Rooter is there with fast and reliable sewer and drain service. From repair and replacement to septic and grease trap pumping, Roto-Rooter is here for you. With video inspections, Roto-Rooter can identify the exact issue to get the repair done quickly and correctly. Complete sewer line repairs or replacements, Roto-Rooter has you covered. Serving Crawford, Bourbon, and Cherokee counties, Roto-Rooter, 620-231-5630.
So the 5-5 Blue Jays with a substantial lead through the first quarter. Now the Trojans having to play a little bit of catch up here and talk about post-game interviews and such, how Coach Westcott has been identifying the issues in certain games, and I'm sure he will have something to say about this first quarter so far. (18-4). And another loose ball ends up with Menold. Menold draws the foul and gets the bucket. See, this goes against, looks like Smith will be guilty. Menold misses. And another foul. This one goes against the offense. Goes against Micah Lang. So now that's 4 players on this Sabetha lineup with a foul, as opposed to the Girard team having only 2. Usually we see a bit of a different scenario here. Girard being a high-scoring team and having a couple more fouls than the other team. But right now, Trojans kind of thrown off their game.
And with this Trojan offense, I mean, anyone can score at any time. You just got to find who's it going to be tonight and who's going to get this offense really rolling.
And this time, not so fortunate for Harrison Burke, as he's called for a foul.
There's that trio that we've talked about before. Looks like Buckingham, Newton, and Schultz will all check in.
And the and one shot, no good. Every starter for Sabetha has scored so far. Another loose ball. Stevens picks it up. Schultz goes for the 3. Can't get it to fall. Swing it over. Menold for 3. Can't grab it. Rebound goes into the hands of the Blue Jays as they reset on O. Swinging it down low to Lang. Lang kicks back up. Shot won't fall. The put back, no good either. 4th chance finally goes. And just another representation of how this game has gone thus far.
I mean, there's not much positive really to say so far in the first half for the Trojans.
Burke trying to open that up or not Burke, excuse me, Buckingham trying to open that up and just couldn't get it to go. Now Menold trying to shoot over the top of him, off the rim, fought for. Newton finally gets the rebound, and it'll be a foul called against Lang. Lang will be the first player tonight to enter 2 fouls, with 5:19 remaining in the second, so not in terrible trouble.
No, and so far Coach Westcott has played both Ben Colin and Adrian Newton quite a bit this game, and that's something even though you're down, you like to see it, just those two taller players trying to match up inside and get more of those rebounds that we had talked about earlier. That would be a big part of trying to get the win tonight.
Back the other way. Sabatha working the offense as they have been. Loose ball. Newton tries to get the strip, and he'll be called for a travel. See how this inbound goes. Schultz gets a tip, and missed bucket. Out of bounds goes to the Trojans.
If you're the Trojans here, you got about 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the half, and so you try to go on some type of run here and cut the lead down by any you can going into halftime to give yourself a fighting chance in the second half of this game.
Well, and to try and let that halftime spark, ignite something. Right now, not much to ignite. They haven't really built anything offensively. Buckingham tries to take it to the board and can't get it. Now the transition as Mitchell gets his 6th point of the contest.
I mean, honestly, Sabetha's taking good shots down low and making good passes, which isn't helping this Trojan team.
Stevens goes up for the buckets, but foul called on the floor. Lukert charged with the foul.
Looks like another triple substitution, and those bench players will go sit, and now it's back to the starting lineup on the floor.
Brocob gets it in. Smith works it into Cullen. Cullen tries the fading jumper. It's blocked. Now the takeaway. As officials timeout for Ben Cullen.
I think
they'll say he hit his head, so
they need him to sit down for a little bit.
They're going to have to check him out real quick. Make sure he's good to go before he enters the game again. Honestly, pretty fortunate for the Trojans, though. Unfortunate for Cullen, as he looks to be okay sitting over there on the bench. But pretty fortunate because Sabetha was going to have an easy takeaway, too.
Ben should be all right. He's got a hard head, but
we'll see if he gets the chance to enter the game here soon once again. They may just have him checked out until half. Stevens taking it down the floor. Works it over to Burke. Burke takes the quick jumper and gets it to go.
And there's the start.
I like that style. Burke taking the quick one, not letting the offense really adapt, and I think that's what it's going to take. Newton on the floor again, fighting for it. Forces the jump ball, and Girard takes over.
And so far, great hustle by Adrian Newton in this second quarter. Just he's been on the ground more times than I can really count.
Stevens tries to take it down the floor, and it's poked out by Lukert. Still a 20-point difference right now. Burke tries another quick one. Doesn't go. Smith tries for a second chance. Burke gets the third, and it falls. And foul and one on the other side. Menold costs Burke his second foul on the game. And Menold into double digits as well. This one rattles out. Swing it across the perimeter. Now it'll be Lukert working it to Menold. Close swing. Now back inside. Here's a fading jumper and in for two. First bench player to score points for the Blue Jays is Camden Gilmore. Or excuse me, not Camden Gilmore. I was reading the wrong roster. Wertenberger.
I was going to say that name sounded a little too familiar.
Yeah. I was like, that can't be right.
But looks like Girard will have another triple substitution, and Colin looks to be all right as he's coming back into the game. But it's like Briar Schultz and Briggs Buckingham will join him.
Pretty tall package in right now. As Newton, Brocob, Schultz, Cullen, and Buckingham. And travel called.
I mean, I know we talk about it all the time, but rebounds are just the biggest thing right now. It seems that the Trojans are letting the Blue Jays just get too many second chance opportunities.
Schultz nearly gets pickpocketed. Brocob to Schultz. Trojans trying to get into double digits here. Keep it at a 20-point lead, and they give it away. Back the other direction with Lukert. He takes a three-pointer off the back iron, won't go. Rebound, Blue Jays. Now Menold tries to hand it off, and the bucket finally falls. That was Jacoby Jackman. Now working the outside again. Brocob takes a three, won't go. Rebound back into the hands of the Blue Jays. Wertenberger, transition to Lukert. His shot won't fall. Now on the floor again. This time possession arrow indicates to Sabetha. Right now, sounds like a broken record, but too many turnovers for the Trojans so far.
It's just those turnovers and the rebounds. It's just.
Ugh. And another third chance bucket. Wertenberger. Cullen, Brocob, Schultz on the perimeter trying to drive. 2 seconds separate shot and game clock. And great save there from Lukert. The shot from Jackman doesn't go. Buckingham now with 10 seconds. Down the floor, Cullen finds himself top of the key. Brocob for three. Can't get it to go. And Jackman, or Lukert, excuse me, chucks it to the other side for the end of the half. 8-34 is the score. And in an excruciating first half of the first game of the Burlington tournament. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with halftime stats and analysis.
Since 1918, GN Bank has been the heart of our community. Big enough to meet all your banking needs, but small enough to offer that personal touch you deserve. From agricultural loans to home mortgages, GN Bank has the expertise, products, and service to help you thrive. With a pledge to treat others ethically, be adaptable, focus on customers, and invest in the communities they serve, GN Bank is committed to your success. The best place to bank and borrow, GN Bank, where community banking truly comes first. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You've heard go big or go home. At Big Iron Auctions, you can go big from home. With thousands of pieces of equipment, active auctions, bidding at your convenience, and an easy-to-use site, BigIronAuctions.com can help you grow big. Call Tyler Jackman at 620-404-8115 to see how Big Iron Auctions can help grow your operation. Bid now, list now at BigIronAuctions.com.
Welcome to Homestead of Girard, assisted and independent living right here in our hometown. At Homestead, seniors enjoy compassionate care in a community designed for comfort. Licensed professionals provide support with daily activities, dressing, bathing, and medication management. Residents enjoy home-cooked meals and the comfort of their own private apartment. Call 620-724-6760 to schedule your tour today. Homestead of Girard, senior living with compassion, comfort, and community.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Hi, do you offer insurance bundling?
Enter authentication code to start transaction.
Where would I get the code?
Please enter code.
Okay. Sometimes humans are just more helpful.
Wrong.
Let's talk about bundling and see if there are other ways for you to save with a super check.
That sounds great. Here, take a look.
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Call Judd, Lori, Ginny, or Amber in Girard today.
Back on the halftime show presented by GN Bank, where they've been providing customers with the highest quality financial services in a friendly and personal way for over 100 years. Personal, business, or agricultural needs, turn to GN Bank. Learn more at gn-bank.com. And as we look back on the first half, Kenara Eye Care is here to make sure you can see what you're looking at. Kenara Eye Care, with locations in Pittsburgh and Girard, is here to help their valued customers. Learn more at KenaraEyeCare.com. Caleb, looking back, 8-34 is the score currently as we head into the second half of play. And we've talked about it pretty much the whole first half. The turnover battle is not even close to being won by Girard.
No, and I think, most of the time when the boys have come down the floor, it's either a turnover caused by them or caused by the Blue Jays. But I think the biggest thing is just on the other side of things, of just getting those rebounds. I don't know how many times that the Blue Jays were able to have those second, third, fourth chance opportunities just because the boys down low weren't able to get those rebounds. And so that's just, like you said, those are the two biggest things that are really just killing them in this game so far. And I think the biggest positive so far for this team is just whenever they do get those good opportunities of not turning the ball over and they actually get the offense going. So far it's worked, and that's not been a ton tonight, but whenever they do get those chances, that's whenever this team is scoring and just trying to stay competitive.
Well, looking at the spread right now, Harrison Burke sits at 6 points with Jackson Smith at 2. Outside of that, no scoring across the board for Girard, which isn't to be said, as kind of a compliment to those guys by any means. Is Burke is well at his average, I would say. He's usually about a double-digit scorer on a regular night, but it's really just kind of a thing to say, what do you got to do to get the rest of these guys going, as well as, just getting the ball down the floor and getting those looks, playing against such a tough defense. It just kind of feels like the offense is suffocating right now. I mean, they're just kind of trying the same thing over and over and over again, and it's just not working, which I'm sure isn't as much on the coaching as it is just on almost just faulty maneuvers by the players on the floor. I feel like the passes are a little bit hesitant. There's a little bit of hesitation, seeing as how many turnovers there are, and the hesitation is what's causing more turnovers. And so just trying to get in a bit of a flow here, find an opening in the defense and start attacking it, and then that hole's going to fill pretty quickly in these elite defenses, and eventually you got to get back and find a new hole. But like you were saying about rebounds, this offense of Sabetha has not been absurdly productive on their first and second looks. If you get that first or second rebound, all of a sudden Girard's possessions all really go up. They increase substantially, but just haven't been able to grab the ball off the rim. And that's kind of the unfortunate part, because you've got a lot of tall guys on this roster like Adrian Newton, like Blake Rocobb, like Briar Schultz. I mean, you could really list all of them, I would say, pretty much, except Briggs Buckingham and maybe Perrin Stevens, is really tall guys. They're all very capable of getting up there at the board and grabbing the ball, but it just has not been able to happen tonight.
And yeah, I mean, just exactly like what you had been saying. I mean, it's been a messy game of basketball so far for the Trojans, of just not being able to get those rebounds whenever those are honestly opportunities that you should be getting. And so that's just the biggest thing that I think going into the second half of, you just need to get those rebounds, limit your turnovers, and there's a good chance you can be right back in this ball game.
Yeah, well, you look at the other side, and they've got a pretty good spread here for the Blue Jays. Menold with 11 points, Mitchell with 6, and Lang with 8. We didn't even see Lang for the last 4 minutes of the second quarter. Menold dropped in a couple and ones, was unable to capitalize at the free throw line. That might be something if you're Coach Westcott to say, hey, don't be afraid to foul. They have not been very effective at the charity stripe. Kind of make them earn their points, especially on those fast breaks. Give their arm a little slap, and with as few fouls as you're at, 4 total between 2 quarters, and Burke the only one sitting at 2, you've got a lot of room to try and utilize that charity stripe to your advantage. So might be something that Coach Westcott almost encourages going into the second half, is play aggressive, play tight on defense. Don't let them just get past you, and instead really play up, get a little bit handsy, and don't be afraid of a little bit of contact. But those halftime stats are brought to you by B&B Excavating. The numbers don't lie, dirt is heavy, so trust the guys at B&B Excavating to move what needs moving, specializing in septic systems, water line install and repair, driveways, rock hauling, and leveling. B&B Excavating, call 620-724-2735. And with that, we will go ahead and bring it right into the second half of action. 34-8, a large margin to make up here in the second half, something that we haven't really seen this season, at least this large of a margin, but we'll see if the Trojans can at least bring it pretty close. I would say if you can bring it within, if you can cut this margin in half in the third quarter, there's certainly a chance. But that requires a lot of scoring.
And I agree with you. I think the biggest thing for this team is just this is a big thing of adversity for them of that. Their 2 losses this year have been against Frontenac with that last game. That was a close loss, and then the only other loss coming in the season was against that Chanute team, and that Chanute team only barely beat them in the fourth quarter. And so this will be a big thing to see how they can come back from being down this much.
Fighting on the inside. Smith can't get it to go off the back iron. No rebound there from Girard, so Blue Jays take over. Driving on the inside, Lukert moves it, and loose ball goes out of bounds off the bottom of the backboard. Shot from Frazee.
It does look like the Blue Jays have kind of calmed down their on-pressure defense coming up the court.
Like this motion out of Smith, but he just can't get it to fall. So now they'll hand it off Lukert. Blue Jays trying to push on their offensive side. Stevens gets the rebound and cuts that possession short by just a bit. Smith knives his way on the left side and gets the bucket. Third time's a charm there for Jackson Smith. Brings the Trojans into double digits, and with a takeaway here, some higher potential. Burke tries to go up. Westcott's telling him just power through, bend your legs, jump through it. But there's a timeout called by the Blue Jays. So with that, we'll bring our second timeout sponsor of the contest. This timeout is brought to you by Salon 214. Now open at 107 North Ozark in Girard. Take a timeout to pamper yourself with Vanessa and her team at Salon 214. And take a timeout to check out Salon 214 on Facebook.
And so far in the second half, this is incredible play from the Trojans, and that's just something that if they can keep this up throughout the rest of the quarter, I think your prediction of just kind of getting it back to being close might come true just from they're playing good defense and they're finding good opportunities on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, I think the goal here for this third quarter is you're not trying to cut down the entire lead, just play some steady offense and start to cut into it.
Just need to give yourself a chance.
There's a miss from Burke. And back the other direction as Lukert drops it in. Their first points of the quarter. That one was last tipped by Lukert, goes out of bounds. They work it into Smith. Smith finds an open lane and draws the block foul. Good drive by Jackson Smith. Frazee gets dished his second foul of the contest. First team foul, and that will be a shooting foul as well. So Jackson Smith headed to the line. Ooh. Well short on that first attempt. And the second falls, makes the proper adjustment there, and enters the 5-point grouping. Sabetha working the outside perimeter. Now working inside. And Lukert tries to drop in. Stevens gets the rebound. Works it to Smith. Now across to Brokob, who checks up on his three-point look. Stevens now fires one, and it just bounces off the rim. Taken away by Smith on the transition down the floor. He Euro steps onto the inside, and no dice. Now, a bucket there from Frazee. And Frazee immediately gets dished his third foul. So he'll check out for Edelman. Work it inside to Cullen. Cullen tries to lay it through. Can't get it to fall. I just have to think if even half of these misses would have gone in, what a difference maker it would make in this game, you know.
And honestly, the boys aren't taking terrible shots. It's just barely off, it seems, every single time. But with that, you got that normal triple substitution coming off the bench of Buckingham, Newton, and Schultz. Looks like Brocob, Colin, and Burke are all take a seat.
Definitely something this Trojan team is not really used to, is having to fight through that physicality to make the bucket. Stevens' shot is blocked. And now a wide open base lane for Lang, who enters double digits for himself. Rotate around the perimeter. Buckingham out to Schultz. Schultz goes over the top and in. Gets the 2 to go. See what this call here is. Menold tried to go up for a layup and hit the deck with no whistle, but now foul gets called against Schultz after the fact. I believe that was right after the rebound. Number 32, Jayton Meyer, checks in for the Blue Jays. Lukert kicks out. And another takeaway by Jackson Smith. And Buckingham with the rebound.
You don't hear that too often.
Keeps this possession alive. And we've got a foul called on his drive inside. Should be the 4th team foul here in this third quarter.
I mean, with the Trojans being down by so much, one of the biggest positives out of this game is just how clean of a game they've played with, I mean, only 1 foul to this quarter, and honestly, not many in the first half. And so it's just, even with all of the fouls that Sabetha has gotten, it's not really making too much of a difference for the Trojans.
Looks like I was wrong. That'll only be the 3rd foul this quarter for Sabetha, but Schultz gets another 2 to go. But the lead continues to grow here for Sabetha. It is 42-15. I say that, but Schultz certainly keeping tabs, going back and forth here with the Blue Jays. Pass inside. Edelman takes the fading jumper and gets it to go. Smith to Schultz, and his pass is intercepted. Lukert drops in for another 2. Lead almost up to 30. as that pass was tipped. And Stevens was the last to touch it before it exits the area of play. This one is another takeaway. Trojans finally finding their stride on the turnover game, and Buckingham gets his first bucket.
Good pass to the bucket.
Buckingham laying his body out trying to get the steal. Here's a three-point shot, and it's drained. Wertenberger and Burke cannot save it in time. 30-point lead for the Blue Jays. Working on the outside, Cullen gets the tip, but couldn't retain possession. So now Lukert works it with the Blue Jays. Into the final minute of the third. This one's tipped by Burke, out of bounds, 6 on the shot clock, so it'll have to be a pretty quick decision. Maybe time for 1 or 2 quick passes here. This one's handed off with 3. Lukert tries to fire, and I believe shot clock would have ran out regardless of who was the last to touch it there. Burke now trying to drive the baseline and just can't get it to fall. Now a foul called, this time against Buckingham. His first, team second. Sabetha trying to get around the defense. No shot clock, 10 on the game clock. Menold back and forth to him, back to him. 3-point shot from Menold, won't go. Rebound Smith, and he does not get it off in time. 49-19 is the score at the end of the third. And we will be right back after this quick break for the fourth quarter of action.
Farmers Bank is a proud supporter of Girard Schools. For generations, Farmers Bank has worked with local leaders, businesses, and residents to help shape the future of Southeast Kansas. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. As partners in business and friends in life, Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank, with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Chicken Annie's Girard. When you're facing a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Catering and carry out from Chicken Annie's Girard. When an onion ring craving is too much to bear, when the family's coming over and you weren't aware, it's Chicken Annie's Girard to the rescue. When there's 20, 30, 100 to feed, you need Chicken Annie's Girard indeed. A heroic value, superb flavor. When there's a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Chicken Annie's Girard.
Back on for the last 8 minutes of this contest, and with the way this one's been going, it'd be quite a reach for Girard to bring it back in, but Smith still firing away, trying to do everything he can to bring this one back within reach. Gonna need about 9 more of those, as well as no scoring from the Blue Jays if they want any kind of chance. And with a running clock as well.
Crazier things have happened.
I certainly would agree, and Menold nearly doinks it off of a cheerleader for his own school at that. Smith works it to Brocob. Brocob scanning. Gives it off to Burke. Now Stevens works it inside. Cullen hands it off. And Stevens, layup can't go. Tries to gather the rebound and can't get it. Loose ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be Girard's. 6:30 remaining. Stay tuned after this. We will have the girls' game broadcasted, set to start at 6:40 in the middle school gymnasium for their first rounder of the Burlington tournament. Girls are set to compete against Ottawa, who's currently 8-1 on the season. Another takeaway. Burke keeps it alive and ends up with it. Brocob takes the 3 ball. Can't get it to fall. Here's a lay-in from Frazee. He gets the first bucket for the Blue Jays here in the fourth quarter. Burke drives underneath, gets the and one, and will be headed to the line to shoot a free throw. And already one of the higher scoring quarters for the Trojans. First quarter, in the first half, they had 8 and then ended with 19 after the third. Right now sitting at 5, and without a running clock, I'd say they'd be well on pace. To beat the 11 in the third. Newton hits the deck again. Here's a 3-pointer. Can't go. Rebound goes to Girard, and it's thrown hard off of Jacoby Jackman. Oof.
A little bit of anger maybe coming out there for Harrison. But this has definitely been one of those more frustrating games for Girard.
Burke certainly probably frustrated. And it looks like we'll get to see a couple new faces here, as that one is out of bounds on the Trojans. Checking in now, Sutton Gordon and Quentin Bruning. Couple new faces for the Trojans. And another good bucket there from the Blue Jays. Long two look from Gordon. Put back from Newton, won't go either. Now driving, and the layup won't go. Rebound, put back, no dice either. Foul called on the floor. They called the foul against Lukert. Oh, excuse me. Well, now they've got the foul going against 14, which I'm a little bit confused about. And that will be credited to Ryder Smith. That delay taking about a minute off the clock.
Yep, and a couple new substitutions coming in. It looks like Camden Gilmore and Brody Brunkel check into the game.
This one off the foot of Creighton Lanter. Try to roll it. Newton kicks it to Gordon. Gordon tries to lay it up and can't as he's fouled. Jayton Meyer credited with that foul. And I believe these free throws will take us pretty well to the end of the game. And they changed the score on me again. They took the 2 points off, and then thought I was right, but they added them back.
Yeah. Well, there is that Camden Gilmore substitution that you had talked about earlier.
And travel called on the floor, and that will be it. Final score of tonight's contest for the Girard boys is 27-53. We'll go ahead and wrap things up here as we've got to rotate to the girls' game, and we'll do the rest of our post-game interviews and such after that one. So stay tuned for that. We'll try to get Coach Rod Westcott in maybe one of the breaks or so if we can, but we'll go ahead and sign off for the boys' game for now, and we will see you at the girls' game set to tip off at 6:40, so stay tuned.
Every day, people are discovering that bigger isn't better, better is better. Big box stores continue to disappoint. You have spoken, and we have been listening. You want a great selection with dependable service at a competitive price. We understand, and that's what we bring to you every day. We know that we have to work hard to earn your business, and we will. Bigger isn't better, better is better at Heidrick's, Fort Scott, and Girard.
tries to make something out of nothing. The Trojans all over him. It's going to be a big loss.
The Trojan sack means $2 short stacks at Eastside Cafe. Kick off your day with a hearty breakfast or take that midday break at Eastside Cafe. And this fall, when the Trojans get a sack, you get $2 short stacks the following day. Dine in only. Restrictions apply. Eastside Cafe, a favorite of the 4 states winner. Go Trojans from Eastside Cafe.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future is
Welcome to Girard Sports Live once again. We're resuming from where we left off earlier tonight and taking up the pregame show for the girls' game due up against Ottawa Cyclones, which is who the Girard Trojans will be competing against here in the girls' contest for the first day of the Burlington tournament. Presenting sponsor of Girard Sports Live is Crocan, your community technology partner. Don't get bit by slow speeds and high prices. Get gigabit, the fastest internet in Southeast Kansas with Crocan. To learn more, go to ruralfiber.org or see everything Crocan has to offer at ckt.net. And the pregame show is brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust, serving the area for over 30 years. Stop in soon to pick up your very own Girard Trojan Instant Issue Mascot Debit Card. Community National Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Girard Schools. Equal housing lender member FDIC. Learn more online at mybankcnb.com. Looking at the area matchups for tonight, or at least the girls' side of the bracket tonight. Caleb, go ahead and give them to me.
Yeah, so for those girls, that side of the bracket, you've got the first seed Silver Lake, who is 10-0, going up against the 8th seed Paola, who is 0-9. And I believe that game already happened and Silver Lake took the victory. You've got number 4 Ottawa going up against number 5 Girard. Ottawa's 8-1. We are 6-2. Number 2 Burlington, who is 9-0, going up against the number 7th seed Sabetha, who is 2-8. And number 3 Independence, who is 8-0, going up against number 6 Labette County, who is 3-6. And I believe that game also happened, and I think Independence won.
Yeah, that's what I took away from that one. So looking ahead to this game, I believe this is the final contest of the night. So due up right now, the Ottawa Cyclones and the Girard Trojans. Looking at those area matchups is brought to you by Diskins Auto and Towing, 120 East Forest Avenue in downtown Girard. Diskins offers 24-hour towing and can repair all makes and models. To learn more, contact Diskins Auto and Towing at 620-724-8100. And we'll go ahead and wait to get into those starting lineups. But any keys to the game, Caleb, that as we look at the last week, the Girard girls go 0-2 against Riverton and Frontenac, two really good teams. So nothing to really slouch at, but of course not something they were looking to do last week.
Yeah, and I think the big thing going into this game is just trying to get your confidence back, and that's something that I thought was lacking last week against those two better opponents. Of just that, typically this Girard team, they know that they're going to be the best ones on the court at all times, and so whenever you're playing those harder opponents, kind of the confidence seemed to lack. And so that's the big thing, is just kind of making sure that you get good shots and putting up good shots and having confidence in your shooting ability and your defensive ability, especially with that defensive side of things, just because that's how this girls team has associated themselves in just the CNC and almost all around with no matter what opponent they play. I would almost bet you that just whenever the coaches are drawing up the scheme for the other team, there's always going to be those steals and that gritty style of defense that you have to worry about when you're playing this Girard team. And so the big thing is just getting back to that and making sure that you can make an impact on the defensive side of things. And so personally for me, it's just that getting back to your defensive style of play and then just making sure that you're getting good looks and having confidence whenever you shoot the ball.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that note. Just trying to have a confident offensive scheme and being able to push the ball down the floor in a way, not only push the ball down the floor, but also take away the ball in a way that just feels dominant. And I think, going up against a really tough Cyclones team, once again, you're faced with quite the matchup here. And they just can't seem to really get a break with these with this competition. Of course, talked about the really good teams that they played last week. Frontenac now standing at 8-1. Riverton, I believe, has probably advanced to 8-2. I haven't checked in on their schedule, but seeing how good of a team they are, they only had 2 losses, so they went to 7-2 after facing Girard. And then now you've got the 8-1 Cyclones. So you really just can't buy yourself a break here if you're the Girard girls. And but on the same note, how good of a win would it feel, taking down a higher class team that has a significant number of wins, and then being able to kind of advance forward and say, hey, we're doing pretty solid. We played those 2 teams back then. Those games didn't really pan out the way we wanted to, but we played a team that's arguably a tougher matchup for us, and we played pretty well. So if you can take this win down tonight, that can certainly give you a confidence surge going forward.
And that's the thing, is that if you just get this one win tonight, looking at the bracket, the girls will end up having to play Silver Lake, who is undefeated on the season. And so that'll be a big matchup going into the future also if they can win this game. But even if they don't win this game, you have almost a, easier matchup in Paola, just from that team is winless compared to the undefeated, and try to finish the season off with a lot of those better wins, and especially if you can get these great wins over these great teams in this tournament.
Yeah, I called for Lewisburg earlier in the season, and then, of course, transitioned to Girard after the break. And I will tell you, this Ottawa team, I got to see them play against Lewisburg. They move very quickly. That's going to be something that Girard is going to have to deal with tonight, is a similar style of play. And that lady right there, number 32, that's Leah Askins-Dietrich. She was the high scorer in that contest, and she's going to be a force to deal with. I'm sure Coach Erlocker knows all of this already, so I expect him to have that game planned out already. But we'll see how this Girard team really tries to adapt against a team that can kind of attack you from all angles. They're pretty speedy. They can attack from the corners, the perimeter, inside, cutting their way down inside of the key. Whatever it takes, they're pretty capable. But, of course, with that being said, Girard is as well.
Definitely.
The opening tip-off is brought to you by Farmers Bank. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow Farmers Bank with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. So here we go, just moments away. Make sure to get that score bug for you guys fixed. And the opening is good for Dietrich.
I mean, that's just what you were talking about, just that quick to the bucket style of play.
And they move it inside. Tip ball goes back into the hands of Ottawa. Loose ball. Keller tries to get on the floor for it. Couldn't gather. And another one back to Girard, but it's taken away. Askins Dietrich lays it in for another 2 points. We got a timeout called by Coach Urlacher. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Whether you're trying to make the most of the next harvest, navigating a changing business landscape,
and we're back. I do not have the correct score bug laid out for this contest, so we'll try to get that fixed up by halftime. At least by the end of the first quarter. But right now, 4-2 is the score, and another turnover goes back into the hands of the Trojans. So far, this team looking a little bit better than they did last week. I mean, I know we're only 2 minutes in, but moving the ball well, forcing turnovers.
I think the big thing is just this team seems like they're playing more together than anything, and just the communication seems to be more on point this game.
They work it inside. Ottawa can't connect, and now a block foul. This one goes against 42. That's Dylan Nichols.
It does look like the Cyclones are going to do a full court pressure.
So trying to maybe attack a little bit faster against this Girard offense. Keller takes a shot from 3 and drains it. Kennedy Keller, lead change there. 5-4 as Price looks to carve her way inside. Here's a shot from 3 from the Cyclones. That was Kirby Evans, and now another foul called. This one goes against number 20. That's Evans. Be a second team foul, first personal. And Mooneyham checks in for Sisney. Great transition down across midcourt. And a travel called. I saw it, thought she might have gotten away with it, but unfortunately, Erica Boatman does not. Now a bit of an abbreviated press here for Girard, as Evans almost loses the ball, and Mooneyham gets called for a foul.
That's something that this girls team that I think they're starting to kind of adapt, is that whoever's playing in that point guard or just kind of starting guard role is always kind of pressuring the ball, whether it be Mooneyham or Keller or Oran, just really any three of them that is always just trying to get the ball poked away in any way they can.
Keller gets the takeaway on the batted pass. And Boatman tries to knife her way inside, and another foul called. Keller gets the inbound, kicks it to Oran, and now they work the close side, and that one's batted away. New face on the floor for the Cyclones is Alexa Turner, number 12, and now Boatman gets called for a foul. On the drive inside was Natalie Price, and she'll be shooting 2. Price makes the first. And the second takes the lead back for Ottawa. And travel called against Mooneyham. Now we've seen kind of 2 or 3 times here in a row, Girard has turned the ball over. They haven't really been extremely costly up to this point, but you'd like to see that chill out.
Definitely, and I think one of the big things with that game against Frontenac last Friday was just the amount of turnovers that this Girard team had on them, and so that was one of the big things that I think helped Frontenac get the win. And so something that you want to limit is just those non-necessary fouls and turnovers that cost you big, especially if it results in points for the Cyclones.
Well, Mooneyham gets called for her second foul. So now Briley Black will check in. Inbound, Askins Dietrich takes the shot from 3 and nails it. And Black answers with a 2 of her own.
I'm not sure what was called there.
Maybe shot clock. I think the shot clock didn't start, so they had to stop and set it right. He said 32, and then I looked up at the shot clock. I couldn't quite hear exactly what he said, but I did hear 32. So now Keller gets her first foul. Up to 4 fouls here for Girard, which actually puts the Cyclones in bonus. Rand almost gets the takeaway. And a travel called. Turnover on Kirby Evans. Oran gets the inbound. Sisney back in the game for Maddie Kester. Turnover again, and a lay-in from Natalie Price. Puts Ottawa into the double digits. Boatman now driving, tries her chances, and no dice. Out of bounds on Sisney, who's the last to touch. Excuse me, last to touch it.
And I mean, like how you were talking about earlier, this Cyclones team plays fast, and I think the girls are trying to match that right now. And honestly, I think the best thing for them might be to slow down and kind of get the offense going.
Oran gets the rebound, works it down to the other side with Sisney. Her shot doesn't go, and Boatman got the rebound, but I believe she's
called for the over the back, maybe.
Yeah.
That's Erica's second foul. Might be something to watch with. I mean, about 3 minutes left in the first quarter and 2 fouls already.
Not only that, but it is bonus time for the Cyclones. And they are not going to give up the chance at 3 points. Evans misses on her second. Now Sisney flips it to Kester. Kester tries to drive, and she
Oh, wow.
I didn't think I saw travel there.
Saw a lot of contact.
Kester gets called for the travel, and it's back the other direction. And a three-point shot from Evans is clean. So now they'll work the perimeter. Almost out of bounds. Askins Dietrich kept it alive. Now Girard keeps it on the perimeter. Sisney works it down under to Kester. Her shot is good. Brings the score 9-15. Price from the top of the key. They rotate the perimeter. Evans, her pass deflected, but makes its way to Alexa Turner, and now Sisney gets the takeaway. Fouled and doesn't make the bucket. So Sisney will be headed to the line for two. That'll be the first foul going against Natalie Price. And it's off the mark. Keller checks out as looks like 55 for Girard. And it looks like Callie Trezona, but I think she's wearing a different jersey number. Could be wrong. So now the Cyclones, 30 seconds separate shot and game clock. Price takes a floater, can't go, rebounded by Kester. They kick out. Black for a long two. Gets it to go.
I think they called it a three.
The ref held up 2. Oh, yeah, they corrected it. 2-pointer. So 2 from Black. Brings it to a 4-point separation. No more shot clock here. This ball nearly taken away by Sisney. So now Price gets a chance from the free throw line. Won't go. Jump ball called, and it's back to Girard with 5.5 seconds.
About 5 seconds left. The girls have an opportunity to get it to a 1-possession game.
They work it to Kester. 2 seconds. And a foul called on the block.
That should be, Maddie should be shooting. I think that will put the Cyclones into the bonus.
So that goes against number 12. That's Alexa Turner. And Kester will get to shoot free throws. And Kester's second is off the mark. Askins Dietrich doesn't get it off in time, and that will be the end of the first. We'll head into the second. 12-15 is the score. We'll be right back.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust. Federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
Thanks to your support, Kenora Eye Care has expanded. With double the space, they offer more exam rooms, larger optical selection, and extended hours to fit your schedule. And with the latest technology, they can quickly diagnose any eye-related issues. All patients are welcome at Kenora Eye Care, the clear choice for your family's vision.
You've enjoyed life. Over the years, your community has become your passion, something you hope future generations get to experience, just as you have. That's why the Girard Area Community Foundation has worked hard to help fulfill charitable goals and inspire generosity, meeting the needs of the communities they serve.
Giveaways.
And that's the big thing. And I mean, there was another jump ball forced by Kennedy Keller. So back-to-back possessions for the Cyclones that she forced a jump ball and made the possession arrow go back towards Girard's side of things.
And we've got a block foul at the base. This will go against Trezona. And Evans makes her first. And her second as well. Out of bounds, goes against Ottawa. Now Oran takes it across midcourt. Keller swings it to Kester. Kester back around to Oran. Now Sisney on the close wing as they continue to work the perimeter. Keller finds herself a wide open three on the elevator screen, but it doesn't go. Back the other direction and laying it in is Alexa Turner. Sisney drives on the right side. Oh my goodness.
Went in and out.
I've never seen one like that. Sisney, but it's taken right back by the Trojans, Kennedy Keller, and she draws a foul against Askins Dietrich. And that is one player on the floor that if you are the Trojans, which not that the Cyclones are run by one player, but if there was a player you'd pick, it'd probably be her to get to foul out first. Oran receives the inbound. And across midcourt here. Sisney tried to drive and then kicks back out to Oran as she'll direct traffic here from the top of the key. Boatman now hands it off to Sisney. Back out, Kester for three, off the mark. And Askins Dietrich with a nice save there for the Cyclones. And Kester gets called for the foul here. Just kind of knocked her hands down a little too far. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it will go against Kester, actually. So now Natalie Price will be shooting free throws. She makes her first.
And so far, this Cyclones team has shown that you don't really want to send them to the line with, I think they either haven't missed any or there's only been one miss.
There's only been one, and that was Kirby Evans missing on her second, and Price misses on her second as well. Usually it's the other way around. You see the miss on the first and the make on the second from the adjustment. But O'Rand profits off of the miss.
Another quick transition bucket from Carson O'Rand.
So still keeping it at a 4-point game. Alexa Turner for three. Can't go. Rebound Kester. Now she'll go back the other direction. Sisney to Keller. O'Ran tries to lay it in. Sisney gets the putback and drops in another two. Her first points of the game.
I mean, right as the Cyclones seem like they're just about to pull away, this Girard Trojan girls team is just able to reel it back in.
And Boatman will get called for what looks like her third foul.
With that being Erica's third, it looks like Briley Black will check in the game along with, maybe not.
Well, Boatman remains on the floor. Trezona will actually hit the scores table. As another two from Dylan Nichols for the Cyclones. Black tries to work it inside to O'Rand, who ends up with it, kicks it back out. A nice save by O'Rand, and loose ball will go back to the Cyclones. Trezona checks in for Boatman. Try to limit her foul count.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we don't see Erica Boatman again for this first half.
Loose ball there from Ottawa as they work it inside to Nichols. And a walk called on Nichols. Turns the ball over back to Girard. O'Rand. Back and forth between her and Black. Keller takes a shot from the elbow, gets fouled. Almost an and one from a long distance.
That was kind of a funky shot from Kennedy Keller to begin with. Just rimmed out.
See who that foul went against. As Keller makes her first.
Looks like Marley Sisney will come into the game for Maddie Kester.
That was the second foul called against Natalie Price. And Keller goes 2 for 2. Gotta say, with as many times as it seems, or with as much of a possession as the Cyclones have had in this game, it feels like they should be up by more, and now they're frustrated with the clock. Shot clock person needs to probably stay on top of it, or they're going to have a problem.
Second shot clock issue.
And Kirby Evans gets the two regardless.
I agree with what you were saying of just that it feels like the Cyclone team should maybe be ahead by a little bit more, but this Girard team just kind of keeps reeling with them and just following and just getting real close to almost tying the game or taking that lead.
The gap has not grown from the first quarter, and the shot clock once again had not started.
Might need a new shot clock person.
I think somebody yelled that in the crowd, and matter of fact, the guy who looks like he's running it actually owned up to it. Got to give him.
There you go.
Got to give him props where it's due. But jump ball there on the Girard side. It sticks with the Trojans. 3:17.
About 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Whoa, changes.
What?
That is a very confusing shot clock. I was trying to keep track of it, but it starts counting down in like milliseconds. Regardless. Here's Evans on the close swing. Working it inside. Nichols has to kick back out. Evans for three. Just short on that look. And it's into the hands of Kennedy Keller. Still 24-20. Just under 2.5 minutes remaining.
Looks like both Briley Black and Marley Sisney were calling for that ball on the backside of things. And with that, Trezona will take a seat and Kester will come in.
I think he'd like to see one of them kind of pursue O'Rand on that. Cut the distance of the pass down just a little bit.
I think that's the big thing that drives basketball coaches insane if you have two players standing too close to each other.
Now back the other direction. Askins Dietrich saves it, but Sisney ends up with it. It's now under 2 minutes. They hand it off. Keller. O'Rand. And Kester lays it in and one.
Tough basket for Maddie Kester. And with that, this lead is just now possibly cut down to one.
Second foul called against Kirby Evans as Kester makes her free throw. Good for the three-point play. Now 23-24. Haven't seen any timeouts here in the second quarter. They work it inside. Nichols loses it. Keller picks it up. And now O'Rand one-on-one against Askins Dietrich. Can't get it to go. The save is into the hands of Sisney. They flip it out. O'Rand for three. Can't get it. It's bobbled. Back out to Sisney. And now just under a minute. Briley Black for three. Can't get it. Couple of tries there, and Sisney almost intercepts the pass. Out of bounds on the Trojans. Ooh.
It's like a little frustration from Coach Herlocker.
Saying you got to get back on defense. Sisney had slowed it down. I think everybody thought it was just going to be a fast break, easy two. Turner to Askins Dietrich. She carves her way inside and lays in the two. Extends it back to a three-point lead with 1 second separating shot and game clock. Kester, pump fake, kicks into Keller. For two, gets it. 15 seconds, nobody home. And timeout called by Ottawa.
There's that timeout.
With that, we'll keep it here. Our first timeout sponsor is brought to you by Southeast Kansas Player Health Alliance and Live Well Crawford County, reminding you to know your limits when gambling and know when the game is playing you. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-426-2537 for free assistance. Keller up to 9 points tonight. She's been fairly efficient inside the paint and has a 3 to tack on as well. Making 2 free throws, 2 twos, and a 3. And now we'll apply some pressure on a full court press. Askins Dietrich takes a mid-range jumper, won't fall. And the call is a foul on the floor. That gets called against Dylan Nichols. So Girard takes over. Ottawa bats it out of bounds with 0.5 seconds.
That's enough time to get a shot off, but it'll be quick.
It'll pretty much have to be a touch, pass, and shoot. And Keller tries, but to no avail. And with that, 25-26 will be the score going into half. We'll make sure to get that score bug fixed up for you guys. Apologies for any inconvenience, but we'll take a break here and be right back.
Since 1918, GN Bank has been the heart of our community. Big enough to meet all your banking needs, but small enough to offer that personal touch you deserve. From agricultural loans to home mortgages, GN Bank has the expertise, products, and service to help you thrive. With a pledge to treat others ethically, be adaptable, focus on customers, and invest in the communities they serve, GN Bank is committed to your success. The best place to bank and borrow, GN Bank, where community banking truly comes first. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You've heard go big or go home. At Big Iron Auctions, you can go big from home. With thousands of pieces of equipment, active auctions, bidding at your convenience, and an easy-to-use site, BigIronAuctions.com can help you grow big. Call Tyler Jackman at 620-404-8115 to see how Big Iron Auctions can help grow your operation. Bid now, list now at BigIronAuctions.com.
Welcome to Homestead of Girard, assisted and independent living right here in our hometown. At Homestead, seniors enjoy compassionate care in a community designed for comfort. Licensed professionals provide support with daily activities, dressing, bathing, and medication management. Residents enjoy home-cooked meals and the comfort of their own private apartment. Call 620-724-6760 to schedule your tour today. Homestead of Girard, senior living with compassion, comfort, and community.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Hi, do you offer insurance bundling?
Enter authentication code to start transaction.
Where would I get the code?
Please enter code.
Okay. Sometimes humans are just more helpful.
Wrong.
Let's talk about bundling and see if there are other ways for you to save with a super check.
That sounds great.
Here, take a look. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Call Judd, Lori, Ginny, or Amber in Girard today.
Thanks to your support, Kenara Eye Care has expanded. With double the space, they offer more exam rooms, larger optical selection, and extended hours to fit your schedule. And with the latest technology, they can quickly diagnose any eye-related issues. All patients are welcome at Kenara Eye Care, the clear choice for your family's vision.
A partner in your fields and in your success. That's what you get with Murphy Seed. Channel seedsman Matt Murphy knows your field and can recommend the elite seed products designed to perform in your area, maximizing the profitability of every acre. And now Matt's care for farmers goes beyond seed as an agent for the new 4-state farm and ranch. From the best inputs available to the protection you need, call Murphy Seed at 620-249-6419. Your partner at every stage. Matt Murphy at Murphy Seed. From the phone call to the service call, Roto-Rooter is there with fast and reliable sewer and drain service. From repair and replacement to septic and grease trap pumping, Roto-Rooter is here for you. With video inspections, Roto-Rooter can identify the exact issue to get the repair done quickly and correctly. Complete sewer line repairs or replacements, Roto-Rooter has you covered. Serving Crawford, Bourbon, and Cherokee counties, Roto-Rooter, 620-231-5630.
At Girard Medical Center, our physical and occupational therapy department is dedicated to helping you bounce back stronger. Whether you're recovering from an injury, surgery, or just want to move better every day. From student athletes to seniors, we provide personalized care and expert support right here at home. To learn more about our therapy department and our other services, visit GirardMedicalCenter.com, a proud supporter of the Girard Trojans and your hometown team for health and healing. Rooted in rural, focused on you.
Saber back to pass.
On for the halftime show here on Girard Sports Live. Halftime show sponsored by GN Bank. As I'll get that ready for you guys. At GN Bank, they've been providing customers with the highest quality financial services in a friendly and personal way for over 100 years. Personal, business, or agricultural needs, turn to GN Bank. Learn more at gn-bank.com. As we look back at the first half, Kenara Eye Care is here to make sure you can see what you're looking at. Kenara Eye Care, with locations in Pittsburgh and Girard, is here to help their valued customers. Learn more at Kenara. Gosh, I do this every time. KenaraEyeCare.com. So, as we look at the first half, currently standing 25-26 in half number one. And honestly, I feel like there's improvements to be made about this Girard team a little bit. They're playing really solid, you know, scoring-wise, defensive-wise. They're really sound, but I feel like there is a good chance that this team should be able to take down the Cyclones.
And, I mean, so far, it feels like, especially after that second quarter, that just like this Girard team should be up on the scoring column. And just it kind of seems like that second quarter they were more dominant, even though – I mean, it was kind of more back and forth, but it just seemed like Girard had control of the game in that second quarter. And the only reason is that they were ever down in the first place was just kind of that shaky start in the first of just kind of a couple turnovers here and there and not always scoring on possessions or getting good looks. But now in that second quarter, I mean, if they can just continue to do what they were doing, I think this Girard team can come out with a win against the Cyclones.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like there's just a couple of easy little tiny improvements, and I think Urlacher knows this going into the second half. You know, just a couple of turnovers here and there, a couple of just kind of rough-looking passes, chances to get the rebounds. The rebound game has been phenomenal, and especially, you know, looking across the way, when you're looking at this Lady Cyclones team, you've got Dylan Nichols standing 6'1", and she certainly feels a little bit taller than that, just kind of looking at her in comparison on the floor to everybody else. Obviously, she's the tallest on the floor. You know, not a single Girard player standing at 6 foot or taller. And you look at that and you're like, oh, you know, Ottawa should be winning the rebound battle. And I would say it's either even or advantage Girard right now as it stands. You know, this team is really fighting underneath. They're staying really aggressive, and I like it. You know, it's been a little bit costly on the foul game, and that's the one thing that only one player has to watch out for right now, and that's Erica Boatman. But other than that, everybody else is at 2 or less for this Girard team. And really, Ottawa has just as many fouls right now. They've got 3 players at 2 fouls and then 2 at 1 foul. And for Girard, they've got 1 player at 3, 1 at 2, and then 3 at 1. So they actually have fewer fouls than the Cyclones. I think just that bonus there in the first quarter was the only time we saw the excess of physicality from the Trojans. But other than that, the aggressiveness, the just physicality in general from Girard is paying off in their favor, and I would like to see that continue going into the second half, maybe even a little bit more.
And I agree with you. I think the physical side of things and just the rebounding is the most impressive thing. Like how you were saying is that I don't exactly remember what player you said it was for the Cyclones, but just standing at 6'1" and just being the tallest girl on the floor, I feel like that's an automatic that you think she's going to be a big factor in the rebounding. But I honestly think that really any of these Girard Trojan girls, they're able to get up there and get the rebounds, and that's what's kind of keeping this game even, is they're limiting the Cyclones' second chance opportunities, and they're really making sure that when the Cyclones shoot, they have a one and done, and then it's your turn to go on the offensive side of things and go try and score. And I mean, as long as the Girard girls are getting good looks, they're able to find the bucket, and that's the big thing, is even whenever they're doing quick transition plays like how we've seen Carson Oran, for example, do, where she's gone down and just kind of dribbled it down the court and straight to the bucket a couple of times. It's working out for this team.
Yeah, and those halftime stats were brought to you by B&B Excavating. The numbers don't lie. Dirt is heavy. So trust the guys at B&B Excavating to move what needs moving. Specializing in septic systems, waterline install and repair, driveways, rock hauling, and leveling. B&B Excavating. Call 620-724-2735. And a quick jump ball forces Girard with possession. So they will get a chance to strike first here in the second half. Third quarter underway. They transition down the floor cleanly, and Kester with the lead change.
I believe that might be the first time that this Girard team has led the entire game.
Move it to Turner. Now inside, back out to Price. Price takes a floater too, can't get it, but gets her own rebound. Kicked back out to Askins Dietrich for 3, and she nails it. Oh, no, excuse me. No, it was counted as a 3, but a missed layup from Turner and put back from Askins Dietrich. A quick turnaround there, and just a bad pass. If you're Girard, you got to slow things down. I know it gets a little bit antsy. You go down by 4 that quickly, a 5-point transition, but it is so essential that you keep your mind straight and keep everything as slow and methodical as it once was. Price kicks it underneath to Evans, and Boatman.
That's her 4th foul. Looks like Coach Herlocker will sub in Briley Black after this free throw, just because about 6.5 minutes left in this third quarter, and you want to try to save Erica Bowman for those crucial fourth quarter moments.
I will say, as good as Erica Boatman is, the adjustments that Girard has made when she is off the floor have been relatively beneficial. So we'll see if that continues to be the case. Briley Black has 4 points right now as Erica Boatman's kind of designated substitution. Hand it off to Sisney in the corner. Flip it to Keller. Oh no, loose ball. It is tipped by Askins Dietrich. Another loose ball, and Kirby Evans ends up with it. Sisney gets called for a foul, and this is just getting a little bit messy.
Oh. Drake, I tell you what, I don't know how Sarah does it with moving the camera back and forth without watching it yourself. It's just, you get lost watching the game on your own.
Out of bounds on Ottawa.
So Girard gets that turnover right on back.
So a chance to try and bring it back to one possession, and that would be essential here. Kind of keeps you from feeling like this game is getting out of hand. Kester tries to back up in the post, but it's stripped away by Turner. Price lays it in for two. Oh, and just another floated pass. Oran lays it in for two. A great answer to a scoring drought for as long as that one was. About 5:15 left here in the third. Whistle blown. Oran called for her first. And as handsy as Oran is, she tends to stay out of foul trouble pretty often.
And I think that's one of the best things about her game is that she's able to just poke the ball, not really get in the opponent's hands or anything. She just irritates the opponent, really.
Price drops down another three.
A little bit more of a full court press here for Ottawa.
And I believe they're calling a foul there on the near side as Keller was trying to work her way through traffic. That's Kirby Evans. Now she is in foul trouble. The only one on this Ottawa team to have 3 fouls. Keller. Pass was tipped, so she retains possession. Oran now drives down the left side. Her shot was blocked. Kester goes back up and almost an and one.
2 shots from the free throw line.
That one goes against Askins Dietrich. And Kester makes her first. Dietrich at 2 fouls, Evans at 3, and Price at 2. All of the leading scorers for this Ottawa team, the only real scorers for this Ottawa team with a good number of fouls. Only other one with points right now is Nichols and Turner, each of them at 2 apiece. And this one's stripped away from Nichols. Keller gets the steal. Kester moves the ball to Mooneyham, and they'll say Ottawa was the last to touch it.
Looks like they'll change that.
Yeah, I think the mid-court judge saw something that this side court judge did not. Came over immediately to overturn it. So now Ottawa will work it on offense. Nichols gets it poked out again. May have been a travel right there, but Nichols drives underneath and draws the foul against Kester. It's only Kester's second, so not in any immediate trouble.
With one more foul with about 3.5 minutes left to go in this third quarter, it would put the Cyclones in the bonus.
They actually technically are in bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Next foul being free throws.
But it looks like Sisney will come in and Rand will take a seat.
Sisney enters the game with 1 foul, 2 points. Miss from Dylan Nichols keeps it at a 7-point game. And now Mooneyham driving down the close side. Her pass deflected. And we've got a foul called against the Cyclones after the collision. That goes against Kirby Evans, and that's her 4th. So she will take a seat, her and Boatman. Inbound to Keller. She touched it before it crossed half court. And then grabs it again after. Last points scored were the Kester free throws for Girard.
Whoa.
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 Surely a travel somewhere in there.
Really? I don't know how you don't call that.
Askins Dietrich gets the 2. Kester keeps possession on the far side wing. 9-point game as it stands here in the 3rd. Kester drives, gets the bucket, and it will be an and 1. Couldn't quite tell from the gesture of the referee. But a big free throw coming up. As that foul will go against Alexa Turner. That's her 2nd. So she'll check out for Natalie Price, who comes back in. Kester just in and out on that free throw. And foul called underneath. See who this one's credited to.
It's like that'll be credited Kennedy. That'll be her 2nd, and the team's 5th.
So Keller gets her 2nd foul. The Cyclones officially in bonus. Nichols off the back iron for her 1st. And 0 for 2 on that visit, so she is 1 for 4 right now on the game. Keller has to boost across midcourt. Mooneyham lays it in for 2.
That was a good job of getting past the full court pressure there.
Cyclones trying to reevaluate here. Price takes a 3, can't get it to fall. And Keller ends up with the rebound. Tries to get it all the way down court to Mooneyham.
Whoa.
I don't know how that wasn't a travel or a foul of some kind if they thought she pushed her. I'm a bit at a loss for words on that one right there.
I mean, that's the 2nd one.
Anyways, takeaway for Girard. 5-point game. And Kester will drive underneath, get the foul.
There you go.
And we'll be shooting 2.
That will put the Trojans in the bonus as well. Ainsley Michelle. Will be with her 1st foul on Kester. Kester made her 1st. And her 2nd. Now the Trojans are just in a 1-score game here.
3-point separation between the Cyclones and the Trojans. Askins Dietrich Goes up top to Turner. And travel called at the elbow. That was Piper Zink. And it's interesting that so many well, I guess if you look at Nichols, who's been struggling a bit on the floor, and then as well as Kirby Evans, calls for a couple more substitutions here. Kester, pump fake, drives, can't get the two. Black, put back, ends up in the arms of Kester, and she gets it to fall.
Now the Trojans are just down by 1.
1 point game again here. Price takes her 3 and air balls, and now it'll be back to Girard.
About 1.8 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. You would think that the Trojans would try to slow it down and take the last shot before going into the fourth quarter.
Head coach Matt Sherman of the Cyclones was telling his team to slow down as this Ottawa team has kind of sputtered out on offense here in the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. They have not scored since 3:15 remaining in the third. Give it to Turner. And now back up top as they flip it around the perimeter. Natalie Price lays it in for 2. Breaks the scoring drought. Mooneyham, 3 seconds left. Takes the shot, and it'll still be a 1-possession game here at the end of the third. We advance to the fourth. The final 8 minutes of this contest coming up right after this.
Farmers Bank is a proud supporter of Girard Schools. For generations, Farmers Bank has worked with local leaders, businesses, and residents to help shape the future of Southeast Kansas. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. As partners in business and friends in life, Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank, with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Chicken Annie's Girard. When you're facing a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Catering and carry out from Chicken Annie's Girard. When an onion ring craving is too much to bear, when the family's coming over and you weren't aware, it's Chicken Annie's Girard to the rescue. When there's 20, 30, 100 to feed, you need Chicken Annie's Girard indeed. A heroic value, superb flavor. When there's a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Chicken Annie's Girard.
42-39. Girard starts it off with possession, and they work it inside. Sisney gets fouled, and that will be it for Kirby Evans.
I mean, on that foul, that was an incredible pass from Kester to Sisney down low.
That was an incredible pass. She flinged it in there, or flung. I don't know exactly the terminology there, but flung it in there. One-handed. And Sisney makes her first. Does not get her second, but Kirby Evans, one of the leading scorers, will exit the game with 8 points for the Cyclones. And this one's taken away. Boatman, who joined back in the game after being in foul trouble herself, gets the steal, but can't get the coast-to-coast two. Price lays it in. And now the great answer from Maddie Kester, leading scorer for the Trojans, sitting at 16 on the night. Back and forth between these two teams. Turner works the perimeter. Now Askins Dietrich works it to Turner underneath, and she lays it in for 2. Here's O'Rand over to Keller. Now Boatman at the elbow. Flips it out. Kester for three. Almost, but no dice. Boatman turns around, tries to take her chances out of two. Keller with the putback. Boatman on the fourth opportunity gets her first bucket of the night.
And that's what rebounding will get you.
And that Ottawa team gives up 4 straight rebounds to the Girard offense. And with that, a timeout follows in suit. This timeout is brought to you by Salon 214, now open at 107 North Ozark in Girard. Take a timeout to pamper yourself with Vanessa and her team at Salon 214. And take a timeout to check out Salon 214 on Facebook. So, as we are 6.5 minutes remaining in this contest, a 2-point game as it stands. And I mean, when you're talking about one possession games like this, how essential is it that Ottawa takes that rebound? You know, with 3-4 chances, you just can't do that.
I mean, the big thing for Girard is like, that's the thing that's almost helping you stay in this game. And I mean, Girard has led probably about, I don't remember if they led at the start of this game, but they led really early.
In the second quarter, I believe.
And they were only leading by 1 then, but then Ottawa honestly started to pull away then too. And so it's just kind of been trailing this entire game of trying to play catch up. And so the big thing for the Trojans is if you can finally take that lead, and this could be your opportunity here with a turnover.
Alexa Turner receives the pass with her foot out of bounds, which creates yet another turnover for the Cyclones, and a huge break here for the Trojans, but not as big as this one from Price, and a foul called on Sisney after Price missed the layup. Sisney doesn't agree. And now Price gets 2 chances from the charity stripe. Makes her first.
She's been pretty automatic all game.
That puts her at the leading scorer position now, breaking that tie between her and Askins Dietrich. And makes it 2 for 2 on that visit. 16 for Natalie Price, and Kester answers in a timely fashion. Work it around to Nichols, and Nichols drops in another 2. She sits at 4 for the night. Kester now trying to work the underneath again. Sisney gets fouled on the floater and will be headed back to the stripe for 2. Who will this go against? It looks like Nichols.
That's her 4th foul.
Yeah, so now in foul trouble herself with still 5:30 left to go, and sitting at that post position. No guarantees for you at any point in a game sitting at 4 fouls.
No.
Sisney misses on her first. And is short on her second as well. So now a bit of a bonus possession here for the Cyclones. Askins Dietrich flips it to Price. Price outside to Turner for 3. Short, and ends up in the hands of Keller. Keller down the court is flipped out of bounds by Turner on the pass inside from Sisney to Boatman. And now a Rand's pass. Sisney gathers. and works it into Kennedy Keller, who can't get the layup to go. It was just trickling on the edge of the rim. And now Kester drives inside, loses the ball, and it bounces off of Kester as she was touching out of bounds. Keller almost had possession. And I'll be interested to see if Coach Urlacher goes to a full court press here soon. Work it in, Nichols loses the ball. It ends up back in the hands of the Cyclones. Askins Dietrich takes the shot, no dice. Back to Girard. O'Rand uses her handles down the floor. Boatman finds herself corner three and just off the mark. Now back the other direction with Walters, and she loses it. Keller. Sets up the offense. Boatman kicks out. Kester can't get it to go. They work it down to Price. And it's poked out of bounds by O'Rand, who moved her feet just in time with Natalie Price. Has to try and keep from fouling. Black will check in for Sisney. It's been such a heated fourth quarter. One can kind of forget that subs even exist.
It's kind of been back and forth all quarter.
Oh, and there it goes. Block foul called against Boatman.
And that will be Erica's fifth.
That'll be her last. So she fouls out with 4 minutes flat in the fourth quarter.
Mooneyham will check into the game for her.
And that'll be the second team foul as well, so just to keep an eye on that. This ball's tipped away, and Kester bats it out of bounds. They work it into Nichols. They flip it out. Askins Dietrich looking to drive. That ball is blocked away. I believe Keller was the one to get her hand on it. And now Kester works it. Black for three. Bang!
There it is. Just down by one now.
Three-pointer from Black brings it to a 1-point game. Now Turner back to Askins Dietrich. Here's Price. They work it around the horn. Nichols pushes her way inside and gets the two. Keeps the Cyclones at bay for now. Kester drives inside and draws the foul. It'll be on the floor. It'll be the third team foul for the Cyclones. Foul goes against Alexa Turner, her third. And Kaylin Walters will sub out for what appears to be Ainsley Michelle.
And honestly, so far tonight, the Lady Trojans have kind of had a struggle inbounding the ball.
Got to get it in at some point. Mooneyham needs to just let it go across. I don't think she understood that she couldn't let it go. But now here's Price, kicks it over. Askins Dietrich for three. Can't get it to fall. Nichols gets fouled on her way back up to the basket. And she'll be shooting two. And that foul goes against Mooneyham.
Back up to that 4-point lead for the Cyclones.
Four-point lead. And now 5. Gonna need to cut your way into it here if you're the Trojans. Mooneyham drives underneath, tries her chances at a 2. The rebound and put back from Keller is good. She was wide open for that one, not even contested on the rebound or the putback.
Now it's just back down to a one-possession game.
It's gonna be like this pretty much the rest of the game, unless one team can really start to pull away, and here's Keller. Kester trying to set up the offense from the far side wing. Carves her way down the left side, kicks it, Keller from the free throw line, gets it to go.
1 point difference now.
Price, her 2, in and out, and it's back to the Trojans. Out of bounds on the Cyclones.
With about a minute 50 left.
And they want a timeout. Ottawa takes a full timeout, so we'll take a break with them. We'll be right back after this.
A partner in your fields and in your success. That's what you get with Murphy Seed. Channel seedsman Matt Murphy knows your field and can recommend the elite seed products designed to perform in your area, maximizing the profitability of every acre. And now Matt's care for farmers goes beyond seed as an agent for the new 4-state Farm and Ranch. From the best inputs available to the protection you need, call Murphy Seed at 620-249-6419. Your partner at every stage. Matt Murphy at Murphy Seed.
Back on Girard Sports Live, 54-53. It's a 1-point game. Girard has only led at 1 point in this game, and I believe it was either at the beginning of the third or the end of the second that they led. But right after that, Ottawa went on a big run, and Girard has only had a couple times where they've been at a 1-point deficit here. Kester trying to open it up. Loose ball ends up with Oran, and they got a foul on their hands. That will be Dylan Nichols' final foul as well.
And that will be the 4th foul also, so just one more. And the Trojans will go to the line.
At 1:35 in the 4th, Dylan Nichols fouls out with 5 points and a significant number of rebounds, especially here in the 4th quarter. She has really stepped it up when she was needed most. And another foul, this time shooting.
There it is. Now every foul from here will be free throws for the Trojans. And with 2 makes here, Maddie Kester will take the lead for the Girard Trojans.
That's Natalie Price's 3rd. Don't believe she will dip into that extreme foul trouble unless a huge development happens throughout the next minute and a half. 92 seconds remain in this contest, and it is a tie ball game. Maddie Kester still has 1 free throw to go, and she has been absolutely tearing it up in this game. We have seen some pretty low-scoring games out of the Trojans this season, but this one certainly is not one of them. Maddie Kester sitting at 18 points, as well as Kennedy Keller with 13 herself. And then looking down the list, 3rd highest scorer, not even a starter. It's going to be Briley Black sitting at 6.
Yep, and with Maddie, I don't want to say that this is a career high in points for her, but this is definitely a season high in points. And so understanding that it's a tournament style game and that so players, honestly, these games mean more than just any other regular season game. Just kind of getting your first look at that playoff atmosphere.
Here's the second to try and take the lead, and she does not, but she gets her own rebound, finds a lane, gets fouled again, and she'll be headed back to the line. Only 3 seconds after her previous visit. And she'll get 2 more chances. That foul goes against number 22, Kaylin Walters. Her first. Briley Black checks out for Augie Mooneyham. And the second goes in. There's the lead.
Take the lead
for the Trojans with 90 seconds remaining. Price. They work the perimeter. Askins Dietrich to Price for 3. Can't get it to go. Keller tries for the rebound. Got a foul called at the baseline.
That'll be more free throws.
And that will be. I didn't even think about that fact. But that does go against Alexa Turner. She's now in foul trouble with 4 fouls. And that sends Kennedy Keller to the line this time to try and make it a 3-point game. And off the back iron for Keller. I can only imagine Coach Urlacher's heart rate right now. Standing only 1 point above the 8-1 Cyclones, and Keller drops in her second, makes the proper adjustment. And
it looks like a travel.
Oh, a travel called.
Either way, it's the Girard's ball, up by 2 with about a minute left.
So Rand heads over to try and inbound.
The big thing tonight is just the inbounding for this girls team. That's where I think the biggest struggles have come so far.
And there it is. They get it back over to Natalie Price. Oran has to fall over and play defense, contest the shot well. Now Oran trying to get it across midcourt. Has to flip it over to Mooneyham. Mooneyham's got to get it across midcourt. And timeout called by Urlacher.
Good timeout by Coach. That was a lot happening at once.
A fast-paced game here with 40 seconds. 24 on the shot clock is what it sits at. 40.8 seconds on the game clock here in the fourth quarter. Girard leads by 2. I would say if they can knock down a bucket here,
that'll be big.
This gets significantly easier on them. I don't know if that really puts it away, but it gets significantly easier.
Definitely, because as right now, the Cyclones can still take the lead with a 3, but if you get that bucket or even if you get free throws just to extend this league at all, just to make it to where the best the Cyclones can do is tie the game, that'll be big to then take another offensive possession. And so this could definitely be the biggest possession of the night for the girls team.
And we'll see if, I would say Urlacher's plan probably here is no threes. You know, I would say you'd want a 2 here. You don't want to try and take a 3-pointer and then give yourself a lesser chance at a rebound, you know, or a lesser chance at really making it in general.
Definitely, and if I'm Coach Urlacher here, I'm going to try to get the ball to Maddie Kester and let her do what she's been doing all night of just getting down low and scoring.
100%. You want to waste some of that clock, too. Kester went up and checked the shot clock, actually. And a foul
There's
called.
A foul.
See who this one goes against. That will go against Askins Dietrich. That's her third. I was wondering, because if that was against Price, Price would enter 4 foul territory, which puts her in danger of fouling out. 3 players have fouled out tonight in this extremely aggressive contest as Keller drops in her first. That already makes this a lot easier on this Trojans defense.
And that's just
3-point difference. No more shot clock.
There it
Keller
is.
makes it a 2-possession game.
Shot clock turned off in a lead of 4.
Ottawa will need to score, foul, hope for a miss, and then score again more than likely. And 19 seconds as they've wasted 10 just getting down the floor and moving the ball.
And the big thing here is you can't be too rough on the perimeter. You can't give them a choice at that 4-point play. You need to play it safe. If you're letting them take the three, you might just let them take the free and then make sure that you can inbound the ball.
One thing about it is that more than likely this game comes down to you, whether or not you can score at the free throw line. You know, regardless of what goes on here and who gets fouled or what the score is when they get fouled, if you can make 2 baskets at the free throw line, this game pretty much is out of the hands of the Cyclones.
Definitely, and I think that's the big thing of just no matter what, you need to get the rebound on this, and that's what this Lady Trojan team has done great pretty much all night of doing, of just get the rebound and make sure that you're the one either shooting free throws or you're the one heading back down the other way instead of giving this Cyclone team another chance at the bucket.
We'll see how the Cyclones would like to go about this. 10 seconds ran off. You would have liked to have gotten a shot up by now. But now you're going to have to reestablish the offense. I'm sure this inbound has been drawn up to put together some kind of shot. And a foul called underneath. That'll only be the 4th team, so not quite in bonus for the Cyclones. And I believe that goes against Kester as well, so that'll be her 3rd. Oh, no, excuse me. Kester was the closest one, so I thought she was going to get called for it.
It was against Sisney.
Dietrich gets the inbound, gives it over. The attempt is, that time, fouled by Kester. So now, Ainsley Michelle will head to the line.
I do apologize to everyone at home. I am lacking on the camera part of things tonight.
Michelle misses on her first. And knocks in her second.
If you're Maddie Kester here, you just got to get at least one. Push it back to that 4-point game.
58-55 is the score. 11.2 seconds. That's the thing. I mean, if you miss both of these, Ottawa still technically has a chance. And Kester makes sure they don't. I'd pretty well say that is
that can definitely wrap it up.
Kester rattles around the rim on her second. Askins Dietrich tries to drive down and put up a shot. Ooh, that could have made things a little bit interesting.
But just 2 free throws, and now, I mean, there's still 4 seconds left, and so just on the inbounder, getting a rebound, no matter what, the Lady Trojans need to make sure that they do their job and not turn the ball over here.
Oh, and that, I was going to say, if Askins Dietrich made that first one, I was curious to see if she would go for the intentional miss to try and pop it out for a 3 to a teammate. And she misses on both, as a matter of fact. Foul called at the base. Goes against Alexa Turner.
Maddie will be back at the line.
Alexa Turner actually fouls out with that, which forces them to sub in Chloe Evans. And if you're Coach Urlacher, you know, kind of walking this clock down, what a huge victory you feel like you've just taken here tonight.
I mean, the girls timed it up perfectly just to take the lead right there in the 4th quarter, and they really haven't looked back since. Just staying up, and that's it.
And not only did they just win, winning by 5 at the end of the contest. Final score 60-55. And Girard are your victors. Let's talk about post-game show as we'll roll right into it to try and speed this up as we've got other guys waiting to broadcast here. But this post-game show is brought to you by Eastside Cafe. Experience the best breakfast in town 6 days a week at 120 South Ozark Street in Girard. Eastside Cafe, a proud supporter of Trojan athletics. And we will see if we get a post-game coach's interview here from Coach Urlacher. But for now, we'll talk about the shot of the game. I mean, man, I really don't know about shot of the game. You got any ideas here?
I don't know. I don't know if it necessarily counts, but just those last free throws for Maddie Kester just kind of sealing the game. And, I mean, that kind of sums up this game as a whole for her, of being the leading scorer and really being the one to push this team to the win.
You know, one that really comes to mind for me now that I thought about it, Briley Black's 3 that I think either took a lead or tied it up or made it a one-point game. I can't remember exactly the situation, but it was down here on the right side, far side wing, right off the backboard, off the glass, just banks it in. That felt like kind of a momentum shifter. I think that was when Ottawa was really starting to take the lead, you know, establish a bit of a 9-point or 10-point lead. I mean, they were up by 10 points at one point, and that just kind of knifed into it, cut that down significantly, and really gave this Trojans squad a chance.
Yeah, and I think just kind of like how you were saying, I agree with that. Of just that was kind of the first thing that kind of gave this Trojan team a little bit of hope here in this last part of the game.
And as we talk about that, we'll roll right into the player of the game. Player of the game is brought to you by tonight's Girard Booster Club game day sponsor, which looks to be the Producers Co-op Association. For more than 75 years, Producers Co-op Association has proudly supported Southeast Kansas and Southwest Missouri as a full-service, member-owned agricultural cooperative. Right here in Girard, PCA is proud to support local families, schools, and community events, investing in the neighbors they serve every day. Visit PCA at any one of our locations, including Girard, Fort Scott, Liberal, and Moundville. But any other final thoughts, Caleb, before I get into these post-game stats?
No, I think just for player of the game there, I think it's pretty obvious who I think we're going to go with just Maddie Kester overall, just leading scorer, great game on defense, just really led the team to victory, and so that'll be my player of the game.
Yeah, I will tell you, when Maddie Kester kind of started taking matters into her own hands and really just, she did the same end around about 4 or 5 possessions in a row, started on the far wing and then went all the way around the top of the key, down the right side to the baseline, and just drew the fouls. And if it wasn't a foul, it was a made bucket. When she started to do that and just said, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, that was really when this team brought it back, took the lead, and ended up taking the victory. As we've got post-game coach interview, which is brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust, serving the area for 30 years. Stop in soon to pick up your very own Girard Trojan Instant Issue mascot debit card. Community National Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Girard schools. Learn more online at mybankcnb.com. We've got head coach Brad Urlacher coming onto the mic. Coach, pleasure having you on once again. You know, we talked about it last week. You faced 2 really good teams, had 2 really pretty close games in those, and then, of course, you have another really high-intensity game tonight and pulled out the win at the very last minute. Looked hard-fought. What do you think of the game tonight?
You know, we've had a lot of things go on at our school in these last 2 weeks, and big, heavy day yesterday. Like you said, we're on a 2-game skid, playing the 5th-ranked team in 4A. The script for that isn't very good. And I tell you, the character that these kids showed, the defensive grit, the execution at the right times. Maddie Kester being a senior. Maddie Kester at one point just kind of took the game over a little bit, and so proud of her. Erica got in foul trouble, but it was a complete team effort. Kennedy Keller on number 32 with some special stuff. At number 32, she's going to be playing on the weekends, and they had several players. I know their bigs going somewhere and playing college basketball, so that is an unbelievable team that we just knocked off, and just couldn't be more proud of our kids and the effort and everything. And don't have long to rest and enjoy it, but I think we're all just going to enjoy it a little bit tonight because we've had a real heavy couple weeks.
Yeah, and you talked about Kennedy Keller matching up against Leah Askins-Dietrich, that number 32 that you mentioned, obviously holding her to a pretty minimal amount of points.
Yeah, she got a lot of them in transition too. Yeah. A lot of that stuff was, and we had to go to zone some too. But especially there at the end of the game, I thought we blanketed. They were wanting to get her the ball, and we did a nice job of keeping it from her. And they had a couple errors, I think, traveling and this and that because they were trying a concerted effort to get her, and the kids executed the defense well there. And just can't say enough about them to travel 2 hours from home and play. A 4A ranked team and have all that's happened to them in this last week. These are the things. This is why I wanted to come to the Burlington tournament. This is why I never shy away from competition. This is why, you get a state caliber game in the middle of your season, and another one's coming up. And if you lose, so what? And that's why, I think we get hung up with that. I think the kids, we had a sit down and we just talked about things, and so what? We'll still make sub-state. We've got a good enough record. We'll make it into sub-state, and I pity the fool that has to play us after we've played the tough competition that we've played.
Yeah, and then final question here, Coach. But we talked a lot about in the last couple weeks some of the things that you'd like to improve, and I think rebounds came up a couple of times tonight. Looked spectacular. Do you have anything to highlight on that?
Just grit, especially our rebounding specialist is Erica, and she, I don't know that she was ever not in foul trouble, and I rolled the dice since she was a senior, and we were playing a really good team. I knew we needed her in the game as much as we could get her, and she just had some tough luck, and at different times she was one-on-one with someone, and they went ahead and called a lot of fouls tonight, and they called some fouls on their team as well. So I can't complain at all about how the game was officiated. They called it tight, and so for the Kennedy Kellers and the Maddie Kesters and the not as seen as much as our rebounders to grit up, say, hey, he's out of the game. Somebody's got to come and do this. And just from top to bottom, everybody that played, Briley Black came in the game, and I don't know that she even knows she's a freshman. She hit some big shots for us at different times, especially when we needed shots to hit some shots. And Augie Mooneyham comes in, and this is her real first year of varsity, and she's done a lot. KO runs the point for us. I can go down the line. Marley Sisney, hit some key shots and made some key plays, and there's just not a player. Callie came in and gave us some good minutes in the first half when Erica was out. Just everybody helped, and that's what you got to have when you play a really good team. And it tonight was a really good night.
Well, thank you very much, Coach, for your time. We look forward to broadcasting the rest of your action here on the Burlington Tournament on Girard Sports Live, presented by Crocan. That will be it for us here on Girard Sports Live. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you all next time.